Hey guys, welcome to Catch the Turn webinar on September the 25th, 2012. I just wanted to pull up this pound NZD. We had a nice push-up yesterday. I said wait for this thing to drop back down, get to lower ocean, and have it come back around, and did exactly that. About 4 hours ago, we broke Cobra, and about an hour later, probably a little less time than that, we got our first bar on high and low, our first bullish bar, to basically just stating, hey, safe now to go back to the upside as far as north. So, if you swung this trade, it was pretty ideal. We went over it yesterday, and like I said a second ago, wait for it to come back around. Wait for Cobra to do its thing. Once it breaks, and if we're sitting at lower ocean, and we see a bullish bar on the high and low, and stealth crossing at that time, and you usually just a point. You usually see stealth cross as that blue bar or green bar, whatever trend and direction it's going. It breaks at that same point in time. They're just basically just reassurance algorithms, and they work, pretty much together to pinpoint an entry on a swing and as well as an exit. So we saw it come up lower ocean. If you had made this trade anywhere, probably what your price level would have been around this region. You're sitting up 40 pips or so, and it's gone to 97. Hopefully it blows through that, especially if you're in something right here. Hopefully it doesn't, come back off of it and start to go back down. But, hopefully it blows through 97 and gets, another 30 pips or 40 pip run out of her, at least to somewhere up here in mean value. That would be really nice to see. So this was a trade setup that was, pinpointed yesterday in the webinar. It took a little longer than, I wouldn't say normal, but it took a while because it just broke 3 hours ago. But you would have been kept out of all this, going long on all this, even though it was at lower ocean. Somewhere over here, it was at lower ocean, but it kept going lower and lower, so it pushed it. But Cobra never broke, so you would have never gone long on, say this green candle, even if you're, lower ocean. It decided it wanted to go 6 more hours to the south side before it fully got a little turnaround, which we're kind of seeing right now happen. So, that was the trade about 3 hours ago. A good long, you'd be sitting up, anywhere from, depending on your exact entry, 40 pips. Let's see if it goes through 97 right here. Looks like it's just hovering around it. It went up to it, went back to the 900 level, and now it's coming back up. We'll see what happens. But this is kind of the ideal situation you're looking for. Even if this was a scalp, it would have been a good scalp as well. You would have seen this turn come on the hour. Okay, now we know we're to the long side. Gone to the 5-minute, and pull the trade on the 5-minute. If you're looking to scalp it, just broke 97. We'll see if it rattles around here for a little bit. You guys can hear me, right? Talk about this. Someone type in yeah. So yeah, that's the pound New Zealand. What we talked about yesterday for what we wanted to wait to have happen before another long came about, and it looks like it's still continuing to push a little bit through. So cool. Thank you, Tim. Oh, look at her go. So since I've entered the webinar, we went down to 96, 92, or maybe even 91, and there's just 20 pips right there to the upside. So these are the situations that you want to look for on a swing or a scalp. If I'm looking to swing it, I would have been holding on this entire time. If you're scalping it, you might have been in and out, and possibly just got back in on that breath back down, back to the 96, 90 level, and you'd be up about 20 pips or so, minus spread. So around, 15, because spread here on this pair is, 5, 6 pips, sometimes slightly more. So I kind of want to see what this is going to do. But here's another indication. You got your CTT average arrow back on, 1800. So you got it on this candle. So you got it on the break. Before you even saw a blue bar on high and low, you got this CTT average arrow telling you, hey, this is more likely going to go back up. And it obviously it did, and it's been going for 3 hours now, or 4 hours now to the upside. These are more just confirmation to make sure that you have a long in place, not a fake out where you're getting a break in Cobra, but you say this it really wasn't a break, it just was a slightly upward candle or 2 hours in a row to the long side, and then it came back down. But this gave you definitive into the trade on the long side. So this was kind of an ideal trade. I'm sure some of you were probably looking at this, or I hope you were, coming from yesterday's webinar. I'm going to take it to something else. Let's go to this NZD USD. This was another trade, but to the short side. So we came off top ocean. Look at the daily. So daily, as you can see, the past, going back to last week, going back to last probably Wednesday, we got, at the beginning of the week, we had a strong last candle to the upside, and we've kind of just gone sideways, trying for it to find its direction. It swam really far down, then obviously through the night, last night, it went all the way back up to, 83.30, 83.40 region, somewhere up here, and made a complete reversal in the last about 4 hours. So this would have also been something for the short side if you were looking at that hour candle. This could have been a scalp or a possible swing if you got it somewhere up here. But this is another ideal situation. Ocean is pointed down. We climbed all the way back across, all the way through going into yesterday afternoon through the night. And about 4 hours ago, so around 9 a.m. our time, it started to make a reversal and push back to the downside. But look at these runs, pretty clean runs. We went through some, ranging out in this region, and that is exactly what you saw in the daily, going back to, this area, started to range out. But it started to pick up steam going to the upside, and then shot right back down. We got a nice long breath on the hourly chart back to the upside. And so if you're scalping, you could hit this to the long side, this to the short side, this to the long side, and ride these trends. If you're looking to swing, I would want it, probably to the, before it was to the long side, even though we were across the ocean. But once that started to turn on the daily, this became more of a southward trend, especially starting yesterday afternoon, or even starting, I guess, Sunday. Because we did talk about this to the long side going back into last week, at the end of last week. But it's starting to look like a little trend reversal. So this would have been a nice pick-off. Somewhere in here, Cobra broke. We still had a blue, high and low. So if you're playing very cautiously, somewhere in this region was the trade, 82.50 level, somewhere down here, and we're sitting at 82.09. So there's 40 pips right there, and pretty perfect, short. Top of the ocean, break Cobra, stealth crosses, high and low bar. Our first bearish high and low bar comes around, and then you would have rode this for a few hours and probably still in it. Now we're looking at the mean value, and what I mean by that is we can tell price has basically caught with the mean. So if I'm still in this and I'm up 40 or so pips, or if you jumped it and got a better price somewhere up here, you'd be sitting at 60 pips, 50 to 60 pips. Might want to watch it very carefully and see what's happening on a lower time frame. So might bring up that 5-minute chart and see when that looks like it's starting to take a breath and find my out and take my pips to the bank. So there's two trades that we, particularly the pound NZD that I had strictly talked about yesterday as far as a long coming up. Didn't happen over the night, happened this morning, but nonetheless, you know, it's a 40 pip trade where you're sitting at the moment. So ideal swing / scalping setups, you know, right, happening, and pretty basic. There's nothing you're going out on a limb on any of these. It's, you know, top ocean, in this case, lower ocean on pound New Zealand, and just let it go. And now we're sitting, you know, around the mean. So there's the New Zealand USD, Aussie CAD. Now, if I wasn't in something right now, I wouldn't be looking to swing something like this, given where we are at the mean. The trade was up here, but I was looking for maybe more of a short term on a scalp. You could do that. Just be wary of that hour because we are at the mean value. And given the time of day, we're coming into the Asian session. You know, when Tokyo market opens, Wellington markets, as well as over in Australia, are starting to open. And obviously, this is New Zealand, so it reflects those markets. So we're coming into those in an hour or so. At the same time, just be wary. If you don't, I wouldn't be looking to swing this for another, you know, few hours if I'm not currently in it. But definitely look at that scalp. Look at that 5 minute. There might be another 5 minute run out of it. It might come back all the way to lower ocean, which would be ideal, especially if you were in a swing and still holding on to it. So, you know, if you miss a trade, you miss a trade, and that's it. Don't just jump into certain, you know, situations that have already run 50 pips and expect to go and make another 50 more. Aussie CAD. Any questions on those, you know, setups that I just talked about the trades or anything like that, of why those would be ideal on a swing or a scalp? Because again, you know, when you, I'm going to bring up the scalping screen and look at some trades and setups that happen on those today as well after I go through the swing. So, okay, so here's the Aussie CAD. We had a nice push-up going back to last week. Pushed up on the hourly, came back off of it. This nice little down push here caused the ocean to rotate. Went sideways for a good amount of time, got a nice little push up, but we still held it. It was probably a little more flat here. Wasn't turning down, you know, slightly like it is now, but nonetheless came off top of the ocean and could have produced another nice trade as well. So Cobra broke, and here's another good lesson to go about. So we see here that we got a green high and low bar. However, we had not crossed, you know, indicating that bears were entering the market. We had not crossed on our stealth. We crossed it on the next hour candle. However, on that hour candle, we had a blue high and low bar, indicating some more bullish. So what that tells me, these were very wicky candles. This went up and down and was in a range, and it was trying to figure out its direction. The probabilities are saying, obviously, it's on the short side, given where we are on the hour ocean. So on a shorter term time frame, we were short. So I wouldn't, you know, it would have kept you out here of, you know, possibly being down, not a significant amount of pips, because again, this pair doesn't, you know, run that much. You know, the ocean is only about 50 pips across, 60 pips across on the hourly chart. But again, I'm using these webinars to talk about setups and what you're kind of looking for. But when we approach the top here, on our next green, we had a green candlestick up here, and this is where we had a, so the reason, what I was meaning by this, was we had a green, as in bearish, high and low, but we hadn't crossed Cobra. Cobra crossed 2 hours later on this candle here.